Hi, I'm Daniel Fisher here at Sweetwater, and today I'm really excited to show you Mavis. It is the new Moog synthesizer. It's a monophonic analog synthesizer voice. And why do they call it a voice? Because it has all the components you need to make a full synthesizer voice. Time. Now you just saw me build it. I've got the dust cover on top of it. I can take that off. And I'm running into the source audio Nemesis Delay because I just believe everything should be heard through a delay at least some of the time. I will only turn that on a little bit later. You'll know when the green light is on. It is currently off. And so what constitutes a monophonic analog synthesizer voice? Well, we have here the VCO, the voltage-controlled oscillator, and it can be any wave shape from sawtooth to square and anything in between. When you have some square, you can also change the pulse width. You can change the pulse width amount either with EG or LFO or any combination of the two. Same with the pitch. You can change the pitch of the VCO with the pitch mod amount and again sweep between EG and LFO to get the right combination of both of those for you. Then you've got the famous Moog filter, 24 dB per octave, 4-pole Moog Ladder filter. It's my favorite filter in the world, and this one sounds amazingly good, which I'll show you in a second. It has full resonance that goes into full oscillation, and again, you can choose any amount of envelope generator or LFO or any combination in between. You can do positive and negative envelope and LFO to the cutoff. Like I said, it has full resonance. Then we have the VCA, which is just your volume, and then you have a switch, which allows you to turn that into drone mode, so it's ignoring the EG, it's just on full. Then we come down to the next level. Our LFO can go from pretty slow to pretty fast. It can sweep smoothly between triangle and square wave. The EG or envelope generator is attack, decay, sustain, release. Then over here we have some new stuff. We've got fold. That's right, Moog is finally doing wave folding. So very excited about that. Then we have two different inputs, one of which can be controlled with a level, and then they're summed together. Or you can use the one level all by itself as just a +5 sweep that you can assign to something else or anything else in the Eurorack. And then finally we have an attenuator. You go into that and it just simply cuts or allows 100% of the signal to get through. Then toward the bottom here we have a 1-octave keyboard. We have glide, lets you glide from one note to the other, and we have keyboard scaling. So when the keyboard scaling is all the way to the left, it's a normal octave, but I can go pretty wide and get 3 octaves from this one keyboard. In a little bit, I'm going to hook it into a Eurorack system and show you more what you can do with that. But first, I want to show you what it can do all by itself, even before you put patch cables in, because it is a semi-modular design, which means all the important connections are already made, even if you don't put any cables in it. The cables let you disrupt that and do some of your own exciting ideas. And to help you get started, they included these cards, which show you different ways to connect everything. It shows the wire connections as well as the knob and switch positions, and those are a bunch of fun as well. It also comes with the assembly instructions, which I gotta say were pretty simple. And then on the other side, you get an explanation of what each of the knobs and switches and jacks do. There are 24 jacks, so you can do quite a bit of modulation switching there. And then they also give you a poster. Moog always give you posters nowadays. I love these posters. Very colorful. And after you get tired of that poster, you flip it over, you get another poster. So good stuff there. It also comes with the tool that you need to do calibration. There are 2 calibration slots up front. And just the whole thing about this is it's very easy to go in and make your own mods internally because everything's visible. And right now it's in its own case, and you can plug the power supply into that, but when you're ready to go to Eurorack, you take out just 4 screws, it pops into Eurorack, and you're off and running. We'll do that in just a second. Now it's time to start hearing this thing. So first we'll do the oscillator. It is currently set to Sawtooth. I have it on a fairly low frequency. I am tuned to C, and I have the filter wide open. So all we're going to hear is the oscillator, but it's a big oscillator. And it will go up. And as I mentioned, you have keyboard scaling, which allows you to make an octave go much wider than the standard octave. So here's normal, fully counterclockwise. And that's really good if you're just looking for a bunch of odd pitches spaced widely apart. But very few of them will be in the standard tuning scale. But it is a cool thing to have, especially if you're using the keyboard to drive something other than pitch. There's also glide. Now we'll talk about some of the modulation possibilities for the oscillator. We can turn the pitch mod amount up and add LFO to the pitch. We can also add EG to the pitch. And we can add a combination of EG and LFO to the pitch. We can do the same thing to the pulse width. So again, I'm on square, and I can manually change the pulse width. But if you like the sound of that moving, and who doesn't, I could turn up the pulse width modulation amount. And then I could add a little vibrato back if I wanted as well. But a thing to remember about things like vibrato, pulse width modulation, filter sweeping, all that stuff sounds even better when it's in some ambient device like a delay or a reverb, because it's capturing all of those different flavors over time. So I'm going to turn on the delay now and show you just how fat pulse width modulation and frequency modulation together sound like in a delay. And so now all the modulations are off, and now I'm going to manually sweep between sawtooth and square. So you have those flavors, but you also have one more flavor, and that is if you take the VCO out and plug it into the wavefolder. Now we're taking any waves that exceed the top and bottom, now get bent back into themselves, creating many, many more harmonics to play with. So here's a new flavor. And I'll show you what that sounds like through delay. Now we'll play with the filter. So I'm going back to sawtooth. I'm taking the fold back out, pure sawtooth, no modulation. I have the filter wide open, no resonance, and I'm going to turn the envelope off. So now we're only hearing the filter all by itself. Now the same thing to some delay. And now adding some resonance. Now again without delay. Just love a Moog filter. Now we'll try it with a really, really low frequency and into a resonant filter with the ping pong delay on. I've just never found another filter that does it quite that way. And I really, really love that. And because this can quickly become Eurorack just by removing these 4 screws and putting it into a Eurorack, you can now bring other things into this famous Moog filter. You can bring the Moog Oscillator into other things. You can use the LFOs and envelopes on here for other things. And most importantly, you can use the wave folding for other things to bring in as well. So let's do that now. I'm going to stop cameras. I'm going to take it apart and just drop it into a Eurorack keyboard. Okay, now I have the Moog Mavis installed in the NiftyKEYZ Eurorack keyboard controller from Create Audio. I'm going to be using this thing a lot for a lot of different things because it is so convenient. And before I bolt down the Mavis, I want to just show you what it looks like from the back side. And so very compact, very well built. And it shows you all the different parts, so if you are the kind of person who wants to go in and mod it, you can see what's going on in there. But I'm going to just drop that in, and I'll go put the screws in right now. And now that it's screwed in, I can safely turn it on. I can see it's going because the LFO light's going. And the first thing I'm going to do is connect the audio out of the Mavis into the audio input of NiftyKEYZ. And this is really convenient because it takes all of my audio outs and sends them out of 1/4 inch, which is what I go to for everything else. So that's convenient. Now, if I play it, it's not going to make any sound at all. Why? Because I'm not sending the voltage to the voltage-controlled oscillator to say what pitch, and I'm not sending gate to the gate in to tell the envelope to turn on so I can hear it. So I'll do that next. So control voltage out into the 1 volt per octave control voltage in, and gate out to the gate in. And I have never tried this before, but it should just work. And it does work. And it's really nice to have a keyboard on this thing now. And now I can turn on the Arpeggiator, which I have set to a little sequencer. Well, that's just a quick look at the Mavis by Moog. It is a monophonic analog synthesizer voice. If you have any questions about the Moog products or any of the Create audio products or any of the Source audio products, please contact your Sweetwater sales engineer. My name is Daniel Fisher. Thank you very much for watching. Thanks again for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. For more videos like this, click here or go to sweetwater.com for all your music instrument and pro audio needs.